This is Vasundhara from the managing partner of Verum Legal, and I'm here today to talk about the topic contractual obligations and the use of AI in today's world. So to start off with, I'm going to divide my talk today in two parts. One is going to be where artificial intelligence, or also commonly known as AI, is used by legal professionals or lawyers in their daily practice or in their day-to-day execution of the work. How the artificial intelligence, as all of us know, has become an extremely common household name these days. However, a lot of us don't understand the entire implications of the technology and also the way in which it can be used. It won't be incorrect to say that in today's world we've evolved from starting or creating documents from scratch to be able to use these AI tools, which help lawyers draft contracts which are very holistic in their approach. They are also very, very detailed, and they take precedent from contractual obligations that have probably been entered into in the past, and help an attorney create a more robust set of clauses for the business or the client that they're dealing with. So in my experience, I understand that artificial intelligence can help a person create smarter contracts. And I do not mean smart contracts. I just essentially mean smarter, more intelligent contracts, which are basically, molded in a way which helps you analyze the business better. It helps you, the suggestive nature of AI. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is essentially a technology which goes through the existing, data that is fed into it, whether it's contractual data, whether it's transactional data, whether it's business related data, whether it's subject matter related data. So the tool goes through all the information that has already been fed into it, and then helps the user of the product churns that information and helps the user of the product to be able to create a more useful and usable end product. So for example, if you're drafting a contract using an AI tool, how it basically works is that you can the tool will have already been fed with a certain number of similar contracts that you're looking to draft, and when you're able to feed it the instructions or the information of your current business transactions, it is able to ascertain the clauses which are necessary or recommended for your structuring of the document, and will help you create that document accordingly. Essentially helps, I feel like AI tools essentially help analyze the situation a lot better, because they have more data than a human mind can perhaps hold and analyze at the same time. These tools are also very, very useful as an assisting tool for lawyers. Obviously, I am again an advocate of AI and general tech products in the legal space, but I don't believe that tech products can replace human beings. They are only here to assist professionals, who are able to use these products, learn to give them commands, learn to give them instructions, and get the best results from them in order to help the interest of their client. AI tools also help bring across a lot of transparency in the industry, in the sense that the data available then also becomes more standardized and organized, because it is being used by tools across domains, and the storage of data, which is also an extremely important perspective of of law generally, of legal cases and precedents and etc., is also facilitated through an AI tool. So that aspect is also very, very, extremely important. One of the issues with AI that an AI tool in the legal tech space or in contract drafting could pose would be who owns the data. Like today, if I'm creating a contract, it becomes a contract that is created by Vasundhara. I have certain authority, certain rights, certain ownership of that contract. But if I'm using a tool to create a contract, the threat that it may become a a document that can be used across industry by any individual, and I may use my accountability and ownership of that document is definitely a very, very real threat, and is something that all of us as lawyers are of course also very mindful of. And it also then, I mean, if I'm using a tech product to create a contract, I may also worry about, or if my client actually may also worry about the accountability and responsibility of that contract. Like, ultimately it's a document that is created through a tech product, not even if it is assisting me. If I'm using its assistance and creating a product, that's great. Creating a contract, that's great. But if I am merely creating a tech product which is perhaps doing the entire work end to end without the involvement of a lawyer, I see a lot of hesitation from clients to be able to accept that entirely and go ahead and for bigger transactions. Maybe we can use smaller documents like non-disclosure agreements and rental agreements for small properties under 11 months, which are unregistered, and simpler contracts like that. But if it's a shareholder agreement or if it's a bigger transactional document, then maybe it would definitely need interference or involvement and experience and expertise of a lawyer who will be handling that transaction. So all in all, the artificial intelligence in contracts has a lot of uses, has a lot of benefits as well. All of us have at some point or the other, today, tried to use ChatGPT, I'm sure, and we have realized how useful it can be as an assistant tool. ChatGPT is only being used and built upon further by different technology companies across the world, and we are hoping to get a much more evolved product as well eventually, which will assist lawyers in drafting and creating better agreements. And there is definitely a very foreseeable future where we see contracts forming the basis of a lot of business transactions. A lot of people preferring to getting into more robust contracts and avoiding litigations, considering the amount of time and effort and energy that resolution takes. So yeah, I mean, definitely the use of artificial intelligence in contracts and in the legal world per se is definitely going to see a massive growth in the future, and we should all be looking forward to it and be prepared for it. The second aspect of this discussion that I want to deal with is, how do you create a contract as a lawyer? How do you create a contract for a AI subject matter? Like, for example, if we are working with a company which has created a product, a technology product, which is artificially intelligent, or which has the AI technology that it uses, and to basically give results of the product. Say, for example, let's take the most common example out there. I have a client that has built a product which looks identical to ChatGPT, for example. This is just a hypothetical situation, and they want me to kind of create contractual clauses for them, or a terms of use for their website on how can a user use their platform, what kind of accountability does OpenAI, which is the company that owns ChatGPT, or any other company in its space, what kind of accountability will it have? Because it's essentially picking up data that already exists, churning it, and then it's giving end results to users. And these users may be using that data for, maybe writing a blog tomorrow, or in their research papers, or, in perhaps writing a book tomorrow, who knows, right? So will that kind of accountability lie on the company? Will that in case there is a copyright infringement tomorrow that has occurred because of my use of ChatGPT or any other product similar to ChatGPT? Say, for example, I used the product, I created a very nice looking content. I asked 5 questions, gave 5 different commands, and got a very nice looking 800 words article, and I posted it on my blog profile. And tomorrow someone finds it to be very similar to their research and their the findings of their research, and something that they published maybe 6 months ago or 2 years ago. Does that make me liable for copyright infringement, or can I use the defense of using ChatGPT as a tool and simply say that, it wasn't my liability. It's not my responsibility. I used a product, and this is where it's landed me. This content is from there. And if in that case, if yes, then in that case, is the company liable for creating a content or helping a user create a content which was infringing some third party's copyright? So these are nuanced questions which are still being determined, are still being kind of discussed. Who holds the IPR in case of, we have seen a lot of images, 3D images of Bollywood celebrities, how they would look if they were attending the Barbie premiere, for example, and they're all dressed in pink, and they're all AI generated. They are not real pictures, which none of us can really tell. So who owns those pictures again? Are we infringing personality rights by using deep fake technology? There's so much to be talked about in this space of AI. So, but the question today is, when you're dealing with contracts which are kind of which the subject matter for which are these artificial intelligence tools, how do you deal with those contracts? What is the level that you have to define? Because you can't obviously say that the AI company is liable for everything, because they're using data for over hundreds, like decades. Maybe that it's going to be hundreds and thousands of TB worth of data. It's going to be a huge amount of data, and the company cannot always be responsible for the source of that data, and the copyright licenses in those data, etc. So as a lawyer, it becomes your responsibility to look at the basics of of ownership, and ensure that the platform that you're working for, the product that you're working for, defines its limitations, its liabilities, its obligations in a very, very concise manner. You cannot, obviously, as an entity, again, you cannot disclaim all liability. But what you can do is you can be responsible enough to operate as a maybe a platform that takes actions very quickly in case there is an infringement that is found, or in case there is a ownership issue, or in case there is a breach or violation of any of third party rights. So as a lawyer, that becomes extremely important. And that's something that when we work with AI, companies, AI tech products, we definitely ensure that the artificial intelligence, even though it doesn't necessarily need to have ownership, and the law doesn't define for it to have ownership yet, is not becoming a tool or a method where rights of third parties are violated, and that creates havoc. So yes, that is definitely a very important aspect that we need to consider as well.